I'm working on the stabilisers, vertical stabilisers. Well, they're actually diagonal I don't know what they call them. Elevators, stabilisers, whatever, rudders. Anyway, this spar here that goes down there. I'll focus on that. You see, it's not even in the hole. It's nowhere near. My stomach's rumbling. So what I do is I take it off. Now to take it off, all you do is you get your pliers somewhere like there. How many people are cringing now? Look at that. So you take it off like that, you won't see any of this anyway. And there's actually no glue left in there at all. None at all. You can see how much they actually or don't use on it. Like on that end there's nothing. It's right up that end but not there. It's not even made contact obviously. So the first thing I do is you just scrape it down, and well, sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. I've actually had to take all the spars off now, and sometimes you can just pull a great long strip of it off. But if you get some isopropyl alcohol, which I've got some on this kitchen thing here, after it's soaked in a bit, it does actually bring it off quite easily. So that's probably the best way to actually get rid of it. So when you've done that, you're left with one of them, obviously. And then you can actually glue that into position properly. Obviously making sure that it's straight. Near enough. So line it up with the top, and then just push it in all the way. This is going to be covered with wing tape anyway, so you just won't see it. And then make sure it's all, and that should actually true the thing up as well. So that's what I do. So I've got to do that now, get all this bloody horrible glue off, and then I can glue them both into position. I'm just getting everything ready to glue the two halves together. Important things to remember: put some Velcro where you need it first. I just put some on the bottom there and the same on the other half, just like that. That's for the ASC, that's for a BEC, I don't know yet. Anyway, the other thing as well, remember to put these on. I don't glue these on until after I've got everything, got the two halves glued together, but make sure you put the wires through, because it's a right pig to get them in after you've glued it. The reason why I don't glue these in until after is because what I do is I line it up like that, put the glue on, and then make sure that these are actually in line like that. Know what I mean? And then you can move them around, because they do move. They're not going to be perfect when you set them. So there's that. So what I'm going to do now is glue the two halves together after I've put that tail fin on, whatever it's called, and then I can start doing the wiring. Oh, I forgot about these. I've modified this as well, even further. I've modified this framework even more. All it is now is just there's no bobbins. They're not just not. I've found out they're not needed. I've checked. As long as you make sure your motor and your props balanced, they're okay. So all you need is just some M3 bolts which go straight through. So the vector fits on there perfectly, and this is no heavier than the plywood. Actually, I think it's lighter. So the vector goes on there perfectly, and then obviously that goes into the sides like that, which is a tight fit, and they've got to be glued in like that. So that's that anyway. These are only I think they're 10% infill, so I think the weight it's about 3 or 4 grams. That's it. You know, it's ridiculously light. So yeah, so I've got to glue that in there, and then I can glue the other half in. Obviously, putting a bit of glue on there. The reason why I put that on there, it's easier to get the flight controller out if you need to, and to get all this plating off, you know. So there you go. I've designed this rear shelf, which has got a letter F on it there, purely because there isn't much difference between the front and the back, as in the width, so you'll know which one's front and back. Anyway, you print it that way up, but you actually put it that way, which is the shiny side. So that goes in the back there, which I don't think I'm going to be able to do on camera because it's very tight. You put it in one side. If I can get this on bloody, you put it in one side, and then you push it up in the corner like that, and then you can see that it just about, if you mess around with it and swear a lot and break your fingers and you're a contortionist, and everything else goes in there like that. Simple bloody job easily goes in there. All you just there like that, and then it goes there like, and it's in. Simple. So that I'm going to put my where is it now? I'm going to put my easy UHF on it, so as I can put the antenna out of the hole here. Now, speaking of antennas, there you go. Simon, fantastic. He's now actually doing these. Let's move out. He's now actually doing these 433 UHF, obviously, antennas with a coil-loaded ground plane on them, and they're only a tenner. The range, the difference between the, where is it now? You know, the Sander style antenna and these is going to be massive. These aren't as efficient. I mean, it's only something like about 10% or maybe 15%. They're not as efficient with the coil loading on them, but it's virtually, you know, you won't worry about it, especially the range you're going to do on this. So what's that? That's going to go in there, and then that's going to be inside, obviously, but it's going to stick up through that hole. So I'll mount that there. And I've checked the CG, it's perfect. Well, it will be. It better be. The reason why I'm mounting that on there is because I need access to the USB, although I'm not going to be able to. Yes, I can. That'll go on there like that, which will stick out of there. So I'll still just about be able to get access to the USB port, which is there. Although I won't need it, I've got access to the bind button and I can see the LED. So that's that bit. And also I've redone the pod thing on the front. I don't know if you can see it now. Shiny. Look at that. So what it is, it's made in 3 parts now. You've got the base there, which goes there like that, and that goes into that bit like that. If you wanted to take it apart, all you do, pull the wires out, undo your screws, obviously they'll be tight. And then that one's locked in place. This one has to come off first. It doesn't have to. You take that off and that one's locked in. And the reason why I've done it is I'm sick of redesigning things, so it's simply you put that one in place, you put that one in there, and then that's locked near enough. Lock that piece in place now. And then that piece, if you want a different angle on it, you just print that one basically. And what I'm going to do is put 2 holes in there, and then now those holes that hold the servo in, like that, they'll go straight through and straight into the top mount, so really you don't even have to glue that one in. So yeah, it's all modular. It's like that. You know what I mean? I'm pleased with that. Very proud of it. Shiny. So it actually all prints upside down. So you print everything that way because you can see the matte side on that side. And the same with that thing, you print it all upside down and then you turn it all up the other way. So if you've got a glass bed, you can get a shiny finish on it. Or if you've got a texture on there, you've got masking tape or plumber's, what's it called? Painter's tape, that was it. If you've got painter's tape on there, you can get a nice finish on it instead of that. There you go. That's that done. Like that. Tony's quick tip of the day. If you want to use some of this copper sort of EMC shield to use as a Faraday cage around your ESC wires or whatever, your motor wires, don't search for EMC copper and stuff like that. Search for is it slug? Just do a search on eBay for slug copper, and it's about a quarter of the price. I think that cost me about £3. I think it was about 5 meters of it, something like that. So yeah, don't search for EMC shielding because you'll be paying through the nose. I've got my tray in. I've also put my easy UHF there, and I've managed to shoehorn the antenna in there. I don't know how it's going to perform right next to the motor wires, but you know, it's got to go past something. Anyway, the ground coil goes straight through the bottom, which actually, yeah. So anyway, so that's in place. What I'm going to do now, I've got to wire all this up. I've put my EMC shielding on the motor wires, as you can just about see through there. That's glued into place. These are still loose, just in case. So I'm now going to, I think I'll fit the vector and start wiring all that up. As per usual, I've run into a small major problem, if that's possible. Anyway, the ESC is underneath all this here, and it's actually set to soft start. Now I know it wasn't when I tried it the first time, but for some reason it's gone on to soft start. I've connected an Arduino Nano to it to program it up, and it won't accept any programming whatsoever, so I've got to take that out. Now I have here a Turnigy Plush 70 amp, which I've flashed with BLHeli, simply through this servo wire here. So I've got the throttle cable and ESC there, sorry, BEC there, and I've got the programming cable there, so I can, you know, keep it in an accessible place. Now if you want to know how to program these, let me know and I'll do a separate video on them. Once you've done them once, they're not hard at all. Like I say, this has got the latest version of BLHeli in it. So what I've got to do is take the ESC out and fit that one, which ain't going to be easy now, is it? I'm sort of determined on this that everything's going to serve a purpose. I'm just not going to put anything not needed, you know what I mean? So this is just wing tape, and that's just wing tape. That's just to protect it against grass rash, I suppose, because on my other one I did actually scuff all the front up, and that was only on one landing, and it made a right mess, so hopefully that will protect against it. And that is just for visibility, in case it, you know, whatever, you know what I mean. And under here, wing tape again, that just hides the servo wires which are there. So what I'm going to do now is, oh, by the way, yeah, those, I've got the aluminium control horns there, rods, links, that's the one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a servo connector on the end of there, and then I'm going to feed it through to the wing. And then I think that's about it, because everything was just transplanted directly into this. So there you go. I don't even know what these are called. Vertical stabilisers, ailerons, whatever. Not elevators. Some bollocks and things. Anyway, I've modified this. I've redone the now as per. If you want to use some of this copper foil, it's basically arse blasted bollocks.